Welcome back, deep divers. Today we're taking a plunge into the world of TensorFlow. We've heard your requests for more machine learning content, and, well, TensorFlow is kind of the place to be if you're into that sort of thing.
It really is. It's a pretty powerful platform, and it's changing the game when it comes to creating and deploying ML models.
And get this, it's not just for the coding whizzes out there.
Definitely not. TensorFlow is designed to be user-friendly no matter your skill level.
All right, so the TensorFlow website calls itself an end-to-end platform for machine learning.
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean?
Well, in a nutshell, it means you've got everything you need in one place to bring your ML projects to life.
Oh, okay. So like from building your models to actually using them in real-world applications.
Exactly. It's like having a one-stop shop for all your ML needs.
I like the sound of that. So TensorFlow uses these things called APIs, right?
Yes.
That always sounds super techy to me. But how would you explain it in a way that even I could understand?
Well, think of APIs like specialized menus at a restaurant. Each API gives you different tools or functions you can use for your ML project. And the coolest part, they're designed to be pretty intuitive.
So you don't have to be a coding genius to figure them out.
Not at all. That's one of the things that makes TensorFlow so special. It's all about making ML accessible to everyone, regardless of your background.
I love that. It's like democratizing AI, right?
Absolutely. It gives individuals and smaller companies the power to harness AI without needing tons of resources.
Now, for those who learn best by doing myself included, TensorFlow has these cool interactive code samples right on their website.
Oh, yeah, those are great.
You can actually see how the concepts work and even play around with the code a bit.
It's a fantastic way to get your hands dirty and start understanding the nuts and bolts of TensorFlow.
All right, enough theory. Let's talk about how TensorFlow is making a real difference in the world.
Let's do it.
One application that really caught my eye is TensorFlow.js, which stands for Graph Neural Networks.
Ah.
You've probably heard of neural networks, but these are a bit different. They're built to understand complex relationships between things.
Imagine you're trying to predict traffic patterns in a city. GNNs can analyze the relationships between all sorts of factors like road conditions, time of day, even social media trends to make super accurate predictions.
So TensorFlow could be the key to finally ending traffic jams. Sign me up.
Huh? That's one application.
But seriously, that's amazing. And this accessibility isn't just limited to powerful computers, right? There's also TensorFlow Lite, or Literty as it's now known, bringing ML to mobile and edge devices.
Right. That means you can have powerful AI capabilities right in your pocket.
Which is having a huge impact, especially in areas with limited resources. I read about how Literty is being used to enable on-device fetal ultrasound assessments in Kenya.
That's a fantastic example. Healthcare workers can now provide essential care to expectant mothers, even in remote areas without fancy medical equipment.
It's incredible how TensorFlow is literally helping to save lives.
Oh!
Okay, before we move on, I have to bring up something I know you're passionate about, personalized playlists.
Oh, you know me too well. Spotify, for instance, uses TensorFlow to create those custom playlists that seem to read your mind musically.
So how does TensorFlow do that?
It uses something called reinforcement learning. Basically, every time you listen to a song or skip one, you're giving the model feedback on what you like and don't like.
Ah, so it's like a continuous learning loop.
Exactly. And the more you interact with Spotify, the better the TensorFlow model gets at predicting what songs you'll enjoy.
Like having your own personal DJ who's always learning your tastes.
Precisely.
So the next time you're jamming to a custom playlist, remember TensorFlow's behind the scenes, figuring out what you'll love next. Okay, we've seen some cool examples of TensorFlow in action, but now let's zoom out a bit and take a look at the broader ecosystem.
Because there's a lot more to explore.
It's like a whole universe of resources, right?
It is. It's like a whole support system for your ML journey.
Okay, I like that analogy. So what are some of the key parts of this TensorFlow ecosystem?
Well, there's TensorFlow.js, for one.
TensorFlow.js, what's that all about?
It basically lets you run ML models right in your web browser.
Oh, interesting. So you could have AI-powered features on websites without any extra software.
Exactly. Think of the possibilities for interactive web applications.
That's pretty cool. What else?
Then there's TFX, which helps you build those production-ready ML pipelines.
Okay, pipelines. Break that down for me.
Sure. Think of it as automating and streamlining the process of getting your model from development to actually being used.
Ah, so it's like taking care of all the behind-the-scenes stuff so you can focus on the fun part of building your models.
You got it. And we can't forget about TF.Keras.
TF.Keras.
Yep, it's designed to simplify the process of creating ML models.
So even if you're not a coding expert, you can still get started with machine learning.
Exactly. TensorFlow also has this massive collection of pre-trained models and datasets.
Wait, pre-trained models, what are those?
They're like templates you can use to kickstart your projects. You don't always have to build everything from scratch.
Oh, that's a huge time saver, like having a library of building blocks for your ML applications.
That's a great way to put it. And then there's TensorBoard.
TensorBoard, another new term. What's that one do?
It's a visualization tool that gives you insights into how your model is doing.
So you can actually see your model learning and making decisions. That's awesome.
It's super helpful for debugging and making your model better. But one of the best parts of TensorFlow is the community.
Oh yeah, the community aspect is so important.
It's one of the most active and supportive tech communities out there.
I can imagine. There are probably tons of people who are passionate about ML, and TensorFlow provides a common ground for them to connect.
Absolutely. There are groups, events, forums, you name it. You can connect with other enthusiasts, share your work, get help, the whole 9 yards.
It's like having a global team of ML mentors cheering you on.
Exactly. And TensorFlow has amazing learning resources for beginners too.
So if someone's just starting out, they have a clear path to learn and grow with TensorFlow.
Definitely. They have curated curriculums that walk you through the basics and tons of external materials like books, online courses, videos, all kinds of stuff.
So whether you're a complete newbie or you've got some experience under your belt, TensorFlow's got your back.
And that's not even all of it. TensorFlow is constantly evolving with new tools and applications popping up all the time.
It sounds like a dynamic and exciting field to be a part of.
It really is. There's always something new to learn and explore with TensorFlow.
I love that. And I think that brings us to a really important question for our listeners.
What's that?
What problem could you solve with TensorFlow? What could you create?
Ooh, good question. What impact could you make with the power of ML at your fingertips?
It's something to really think about. And while you're pondering that, we'd love to hear from you.
Oh, absolutely. We always appreciate hearing from our listeners.
If you enjoyed this deep dive into TensorFlow, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the show so you don't miss out on future episodes.
And let us know what you're curious about. What areas of knowledge would you like us to explore?
Yeah, drop a comment below and tell us what deep dives you'd like to hear next.
We're always looking for new ideas, and we love getting suggestions from our listeners.
Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep that curiosity burning bright.
We'll catch you in our next deep dive.